The Niners pull off a stunner in Tampa, and they win by a final score of 23-20. Man, it was a good game. Daniel's here to talk about it. I'm going to send some links out to some others, see if we get some more people up in here. 23-20. Let's talk about it. It's Postgame Live, and it's right now. What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Postgame Live, and what a fucking game.
Let's go.
Let's go. The Niners beat the Buccaneers 23-20. They moved to 5-4 on the season, and the Buccaneers fall to 4-6. This is the game the Niners had to have, and I think that offensively, aside from Jake Moody missing fucking 3 field goals, the offense looks so much better. They had much more cohesion, even when they had to drive. Their last 2 drives that they had to score on, they were able to do so because of the weapons they had in CMC and Juwan Jennings. And I love to see them be able to move the ball. The defense struggled mightily in this game, but came through when their backs were against the wall. So that was good to see. Daniel, what did you think about this game as the Niners win 23-20?
Boy, it was a nail biter, man. I mean, the Bucks played a really good football game against the Niners. They ran the ball well, but when it came down to it, the Niners really the defense came through when they had to. With some pretty timely sacks and forcing them, 3 and outs. And then what about Brock Purdy, man?
Purdy was clutch.
Purdy had a fucking game today. He passed for 353 yards, 2 touchdowns. He came up clutch when we needed him. Some huge catches by Juwan Jennings. CMC was definitely a factor in the game. He had 6 receptions in this game. Rushing the ball wasn't really a factor at all for the Niners in the game today. It's just a balance. But overall, just an incredible win on the road. Tampa Bay, hot ass day down there. Probably hot ass day. Fuck too. And walk away with the W, man. Let's go.
Dude, That was fucking huge. And Brock Purdy had a big game. We'll talk about that. A lot of players had big games. And I thought that everybody stepped up when they had to. We saw tensions flaring on the sidelines between Taylor Pepper and Deebo Samuel, but I think Deebo was basically telling him, like, hey, man, shut the fuck up. You guys keep fucking up on special teams. Get the fuck out of my face. Obviously, I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly what they said, but that's what it felt like to me. Niners win 23-20. So the Niners moved to 5-4, which was absolute. They had to have it win. And we're going to talk about the ramifications of this game and of this win and some of the stats of this game. But before we do any of that, let's take a break and get a word from our sponsors, SeatGeek, BetUS, and PowerBrandSystems.
Postgame Live is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code DreArea Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. And we are also brought to you by BetUS. BetUS will match you up to 125% on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 by using promo code DreArea Sports. PowerBrandSystems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out PowerBrandSystems. Use promo code 300 POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at PowerBrandSystems.
All right, here we go. So Niners take out Bucks 23-20. Let's go ahead and pull up the numbers here, and we can take a look at it. Brock Purdy was 25 of 36 for 353 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. And that was the biggest thing, too, is that I think every Brock Purdy hater out there was waiting for that interception. Like, oh, he's going to throw a pick. He's going to throw a pick. He never threw a pick. He stayed poised. He stayed in control the entire time. And they had a nasty pass rush coming at Brock Purdy all game.
Oh, it was blitz nation by the Bucks. It was constantly under pressure. The O-line was hemorrhaging at times, where they just couldn't pick up everybody.
They couldn't.
Obviously, he got sacked 3 times in the game. And that pass to Kittle in the corner of the end zone, what a play by Purdy, scrambling, making something happen, and Kittle identifying that and making that beautiful catch on that wobbly pass by Purdy.
Oh, hey, but it was a dime, dude.
It was a dime.
It was a dime.
It was a fucking dime. So it was just incredible, man. It's just a great game to watch.
I mean, not only was it a dime, but at the same time, the footwork by George Kittle to keep his feet in bounds, just the athleticism alone, I thought was incredible. Even like my family was watching it, the kids, they were like, wow, because it was just such an incredible play by George Kittle. And when we look at the receiving stats, Juwan Jennings, 7 catches for 93 yards. Boy, was he huge today.
Yeah, he was.
Ricky Pearsall had 4 catches. Again, I'm telling you right now, Ricky Pearsall has filled in for this year's Brandon Ayuk perfectly.
Absolutely.
That's what Ayuk would have had. 4 catches, 73 yards.
And he had a really clutch, I think it was a 3rd down catch in the second half there. It was probably the 4th quarter, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was just a real nice thrown ball, big catch right there. I mean, he broke that one for that touchdown. That was awesome to see, that diving into the end zone, into the pylon. I mean, great heads-up awareness to get his arm around with the ball to get it crossing the goal line. Ricky Pearsall is now starting to establish himself as a playmaker and as a catcher, and that's what we're starting to see. I think Purdy's identifying it. Shanahan has him out there, in certain formations, and we're starting to see the ball come his way. That's what we need to see, a balanced attack, at least from from a receiving core standpoint. Look at the distribution of throws, that Purdy made today. Real nice balance there. Everyone's eating.
Everyone's eating. I mean, it was great to see this. And the big thing, too, Christian McCaffrey, he had 6 catches for 68 yards. And on top of that, he had 13 carries for 39 yards. Now, the Bucs run defense was on a whole new level. I mean, they were just all over the place stopping the Niners running attack. But the fact that we had Christian McCaffrey in this game made the biggest difference to me, because he was able to really open things up for the receivers, and it allowed the offense to really hum at times and move the ball down the field. Now, you look at it, Jake Moody, he cost us 9 fucking points. 9 points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an entirely different game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we probably aren't playing on that last drive for points. I mean, he was just all over the map, unfortunately. And again, special teams. I don't know what Shanahan is doing with that team right now, but it's not enough. There's something fundamentally wrong with the way that special teams is being coached and executed. They're not prepared. They're making blunders. That muff punt return, I think it was, or a kickoff. I think it was a punt return.
Darrell Luter got pushed into Jacob Cowing, which was like, dude, what are you doing?
And Cowing didn't have enough understanding. Jump on the fucking ball because someone touched it on your team.
Instead, he tried to sell the contact.
He tried to sell the contact. No, get the damn ball.
Get the damn ball, dude. Don't do that. Don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, Rachaad White, 6 catches for 39 yards. He had a touchdown as well. He also ran for 31 yards. He was fucking killing us. Him and Bucky Irving. He only rushed for 73 yards, Irving, but the two of them combined were just a menace on the Niners defense. And again, this is what worries me about the Niners defense coming out of the bye, is that when we go against teams like the Packers with Josh Jacobs, the Lions with Montgomery and Gibbs, this is where teams are going to take advantage of the Niners, run the ball on them. They haven't proven that they can stop the run. And I don't know what they're going to do.
I'm not sure either, but Bucky Irving and Rachaad White, that's a really good 1-2 punch. They've had a real nice season so far. Bucky Irving is a really good prospect, good running back. This is his first year in the league. He has a ton of moves back there. He did exploit our defense quite a bit today. And
big time.
I mean, but however, when we needed to make big plays on defense, Bosa came through big in the fourth
Big
quarter.
time, dude.
You
He
know,
always does.
I mean, that guy really stepped up. We saw a good pressure on the defensive end and a little bit up the middle, but more, Lloyd and Bosa, those two guys were causing some havoc there in the second half.
When you look at the third down efficiencies as well, Niners were 5 for 11, Buccaneers were 5 for 14. So the defense was coming through on third down and preventing that from happening.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Baker Mayfield, I thought had a really good game. Those passes he made on that last drive where he had Bosa hanging off his arm and another play where he was going to get sacked and he threw the ball for a first down. I mean, he was playing, he was clutch. I got to hand it to Baker Mayfield. He was clutch today.
Yeah, he was clutch, but I thought that play with Bosa, I thought Bosa was just trying to push him out of bounds and didn't think about dragging that fucker down to the ground.
Well, the problem is that now it's illegal to do the swing tackle where if you grab his arm and then kick your legs up to pull him down, that's illegal. And so I think that he didn't have enough leverage to really like pull him down because he was kind of grabbing his arm. So it just worked out really shitty for the Niners. I really thought that was going to be an errant pass, and that would have been a turnover on downs.
Yeah,
instead, he gets the ball to White, and they keep going. I was like, oh, and then talk about what the fuck. How many fucking penalties Niners had on that last Buccaneers drive? Oh, my God. I was like ready to lose my shit in front of my family at that. It was one face mask, one illegal hands to the face after another. I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
And that last one, it looked like they wanted to call face mask, and they realized, oh, fuck, it wasn't a face mask. Let's just call illegal hit to the helmet of a quarterback.
That was so dumb. There was no penalty there.
So bitch shit right there.
They were like, that was a face mask, right? Oh, he kind of grazed it. Oh, shit. Oh, this is too little hands to the face. Like, come on,
man. Pick up the flag, put it back in your pocket. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
The Niners were acting like we're going to give it to you right now, and thank God they held them to that field goal because, it would have been really tough.
Here's the thing, too, that I saw towards the end of the game that I hadn't seen yet from Nick Sorensen was that last drive, especially once they got into the Niners' 30-yard line, they were bringing the house. They were bringing blitzes off of different sides. Yeah. He was going after Baker Mayfield to hurry him up. In past games, they weren't bringing that pressure. They were just kind of dropping back and hoping the front four get home. And everybody kept talking about once Christian Wirfs went out of the game, which was like, oh my God, thank you. Once he went out of the game, and what's his name, School came in. It was a matter of time before Nick Bosa took advantage of that, and then finally he did. He bull rushed him and got to Baker Mayfield. But that second half, Nick Bosa was all over Baker Mayfield. Even plays where he was able to get the ball away, he was still all over him.
Yeah, and like you said, Andre, it was good to see the blitz, and that's one thing we don't see enough the Niners do is even blitz with Fred Warner. I mean, Warner is such a good coverage linebacker and a great tackler. You don't really see him getting sacks, and really getting after the quarterback. And that's part of their game planning and their schemes. And it was great to see Sorensen say, all right, fuck it, let's blitz.
Let's just go after him and speed him up.
One of them was a full barnyard blitz, and that was awesome, And it's just send the house sometimes when you have to. It's okay. Trust your D-backs. And it was great to see. And the Niners defense came up big when they had to. I mean, look at Mayfield, only 116 yards, 116. He missed some wide open fucking dudes.
Who?
I mean, Baker did.
Well, he did because he was under pressure. And so he was like, man, what do I do? He's like, this is crazy.
Yeah, he definitely missed some passes he'd probably want to take back for sure. For sure.
And but he played really good though. I thought he showed a lot of what's it called? Fortitude to stay in there and take those shots and have fucking Nick Bosa hanging off his body and still making passes for first downs.
Yeah, I mean, he played a really good 116-yard, 1-touchdown game. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, really, if that would have been good enough to win against a lot of the teams. And the Niners just came up big on that final fourth quarter.
I mean, he was 18 and 29, like you said, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. He got sacked twice. A very efficient game, and that's the kind of quarterback Baker Mayfield has become. But at the same time, Brock Purdy, 25 of 36 for 353 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was
Yes.
clutch.
Clutch.
Were there some plays that he missed? Yeah, I think so. But he made up for it in how he played throughout the entire game. And look, at this point, even fucking Tom Brady was talking about how he was playing so well. That pass that he threw to Deebo Samuel across the middle, where he had to move in the pocket and kind of throw on the run, that was a huge fucking play on that last drive. And Deebo got a huge chunk yard.
Yeah.
And they had no answer for that. The Buccaneers, they were like, oh shit. And again, you're seeing Jennings and Deebo Samuel, Ricky Pearsall, you're seeing them get open because you have Christian McCaffrey in your backfield. Christian McCaffrey coming out as a receiver, it just draws more attention away from them.
Well, they have to account for him.
They have to account
for him because he's so explosive. I mean, look at that great catch he made in the second quarter, I think it was, where Purdy got blasted and threw a freaking a lob out there, a perfect lob to McCaffrey, and McCaffrey turned around, identified the ball, caught it, got some yak on it. That's not going to happen if it's JP Mason. It's probably not going to happen if it's freaking Garendo. That's CMC. That's the difference
CMC
maker right here. That is the X factor. And it was great to see him in the mix. I think he played a nice amount of plays. There was only 2 running plays, the other running backs in the game. 1 run for Mason, 1 run for Garendo. Other than that, it was all CMC.
Yeah, they were like, let's spread the love once or twice, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's all love you're going to get.
Thanks
that's
it.
For the first half of the year.
But Garendo, man, he had I think he had a couple of carries, so he did spell him. But every time he'd come out, you could see McCaffrey was pissed. He was just like, come on, man, I want to stay in the game. You could tell he's eager to play. And,
yeah, definitely.
They had a hard time freeing up running lanes for him. He had a big run on the drive that led to another missed field goal, but he had a good run in the beginning of the second half. And the ESPN doesn't tell me how many he averaged, though. That's the one thing. I have to go on the other one to find out. But just an incredible game. He averaged 3 yards per carry. So, I mean, it could have been better, but
well, the Bucks have speed on the outside, and the Niners really try to get that ball working on the right side, like swing runs where he's running out to the right instead of up the middle, and they have speed out there, and the Bucks were hitting hard, man. I mean, those guys were ready to go for for the Niners run game, and for the most part they stuffed it up really well.
They did. I want to see this too. Brock Purdy, quarterback rating of 119.3. Baker Mayfield at only 82. I didn't think he was that bad at 82, but at the end of the game, there were a couple of plays where they had a first down on that. I think it was a third down, and he completely missed the receiver. He was just inaccurate. But again, that was because of the pressure that was being brought by the Niners.
Yeah, definitely it was. I mean, again, like I'm not trying to put down, Baker Mayfield. He had a fairly consistent game. Wouldn't say it was a great game, but he didn't. He had that one bad snap that he jumped on it and didn't give up the turnover. But he didn't throw any picks. But he missed some wide open receivers, and some of those were not pressure throws either. They were just flat out. Oh, I fucking missed.
I just fucking missed, dude. It was nuts.
And the Niners were coming after him the whole game. So that definitely was a factor.
Well, and I think, too, there were some plays, especially on the first drive, where Ricky Pearsall was wide open for a first down, and he completely missed him. He didn't even go to him. He went across the middle for an incomplete pass. So there are some opportunities that I think Brock missed on. And I think that's where you hear he was just kind of okay. I thought he was playing at a very, very high level, because you're talking about every time he dropped back, this motherfucker was under pressure. That's what it felt like. They were coming after him. I would say, 2 out of 3 downs, they were bringing the house, or they were bringing an extra pass rusher. Oh, yeah. And there was a lot of plays where he dropped back, and I was just like, oh, fuck, throw the ball,
Yeah.
And he was able to get rid of the ball. Even that third down, towards the end of the game, which ended up leading to the missed field goal, and then the Buccaneers had their final drive. He had McCaffrey open for a first down. The ball got tipped at the line because they brought the house, and they were able to stop the Niners. But if he could have got that pass off, that would have been a first down.
Yeah.
But having McCaffrey back was huge. It changed the game. It changed the complexity.
Yeah, and plus he's so smart to pick up blitzes too. You know, he's a heads up player. You know, all around excellent awareness on the field. He'll pick up the blitz. He'll do his best to block. Man, it was just great to see him out there. And every time he gets tackled, I'm thinking, leave his legs alone.
I know.
Don't touch his fucking legs.
Leave him alone. You know? Or like when he lay down, I'm like, please get up, please get up, please get up.
Yeah, exactly.
So check this out. Passing yards, Niners had a total of 338 passing yards, while Buccaneers only had 105. The average pass, the Niners were averaging 8.7 yards a pass play, while the Buccaneers was 3.4. And you can tell because they were eager to get rid of the ball. And that's what teams have done to the Niners all year, even go back to last year, is get rid of the ball fast. Get rid of the ball fast because they don't want to deal with the pass rush.
Yeah.
But the Niners, 338 yards passing. I mean, that's pretty huge. And you can see it right there, 338. No interceptions thrown. We had 3 sacks, and they had 2. Rushing yards, 75 to 110. We talked about how Irving and White had a good game. Red zone, Niners were 1 for 3, Buccaneers were 2 for 4. So still some struggles in the red zone. They're still working back Christian McCaffrey. And then the turnover. I mean, that special teams turnover. Let's talk a little bit about the fucking special teams. I'm sorry, but look, I'm not going to say fire Brian Schneider because he's a human being and he has a job and I don't want him to be unemployed. I mean, fuck, he has a family, I'm sure. But at the same time, it's kind of like, man, you got to figure this out. Something has to change. That fumble or that muffed punt from Jacob Cowing, that got them right back in the game. And that tied the game. I was like, oh, wait, was that the tying game or did that give them the lead? I think it tied the game.
I think it tied the game. Yeah,
it tied the game.
Yeah. Because they scored, I don't know if they scored on that play or not, but on that drive right after that fumble. But, that fumble is on the player, right? Those are on the players. That's not on the coach. The coach is just like, damn it, you idiot. That is 100% on the player. But that player has to be coached up well enough to know, don't do a fucking acting job. This ain't the NBA. You go out there and you get that ball back. Just get the ball back, and that's the stuff that those coaches should be instilling in their players because of all the mistakes that we've been having this whole season with special teams. I mean, we're not going to get too far, in this season, let alone in the postseason, if special teams doesn't get their shit together. I mean, I think we had some fantastic kicking replacements when Moody was down. We had some 2 weeks of good kicking out of those players, and then Moody's back and he fucking misses 3 of them. And that's not on coaching, but is this guy ready to go or what?
Exactly. I mean, look, overall, special teams cost Niners 13 points today. If you include all 3 of Moody's kicks and the muff punt, which led to a touchdown for the Buccaneers. So again, every time the Niners start to get things right, the special team shows up, rears its ugly fucking head, and just allows teams to get back in the game. It's just, what do you do?
Well, the problem is it's compounded because of the Niners red zone problems, right? Can't score fucking touchdowns, got to kick a field goal. Here comes special teams again. Here comes the kicker again. And they got to figure this out with CMC. I'm hoping that things will open up a little bit. You rely less on your kicker for those 3 points, more on them for the extra point, which is much closer. Even on the last fucking kick, thank God Moody hit it, but it looked like he wanted to miss it. Jesus.
Oh, I know. He barely made it too. I was like, holy fuck, what are you doing, dude?
It, man. It's just like, wow.
He barely made that last kick.
Barely made it in.
I mean, if you miss 4 kicks, I don't know what happens after this game. But to me, this was a game that finally I saw Kyle Shanahan lose his fucking shit over special teams. When Moody missed that last kick, he was so fucking pissed.
Oh yeah.
He was like, God fucking damn it. Because he's
yeah.
sick of this. He's like, dude, we should be up in this game, but
Yeah.
we're not.
No.
And it's just one thing after another. And so, look, am I happy we got the win? Absolutely. But special teams continues to be a problem for the Niners, and they have the worst special teams in the league. Now, however, Jacob Cowing had that muff punt, but at the end of the game, in the fourth quarter, he had that nice return that got him up to like the 40 to 45 yard line.
Yeah, it was almost midfield.
Yeah, that was great. And that's what got the Niners, gave them a golden opportunity. But I think, that was their final drive too? Because that was coming off the field goal.
Yeah. So they didn't have to go too far to get into field goal range, but fucking Moody, man, that guy.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable, man. It's just, he was clutched in the Super Bowl. He started off the season really well, got hurt on some stupid shit, and comes back and misses a lot of field goals. It really shows you how good this Niner team is when they want to be. They can over fucking come 3 missed field goals and a fumble and still win on the road.
Kyle Shanahan was quoted as saying, "You're only as good as your last kick." Sterling Bennett from 957 The Game, host of 49ers Access podcast, writes, "You wouldn't need a game-winning kick if you'd hit the first 3." Exactly, man.
Well, okay. Yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing too: is that the 3 he missed? I mean, the second one was the worst one. He totally shanked it all the way to the left. I was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, that was a bad one.
It was so bad. So now the question is, should we have gone with Jake Moody, or should we have kept Anders Carlson? Because Carlson made his kicks.
Yeah, no, I think you go with Jake Moody. I mean, and I think these players know, like, you're not going to go unless you're 100% ready. I don't think he didn't have enough leg. I think he just fucking didn't have any aim. And that was the problem. His mechanics were off in this game. Hopefully during this week of practice, he can get some more kick time and practice and just be ready to go, come next weekend, because we're going to fucking need him again, most likely.
I mean, was he ready? That was the question I had all day. Like, is this guy actually ready? I mean, he looks like he's missing kicks left and right. So, but at the end of the day, he fucking won the game.
Yeah, he did win the game. Saw some great play by Mustafa out there. He looked great again. I mean,
yes, he did.
Kid, he's a fucking. He is a guy that's going to rise to fame. I mean, this guy is really good. He came up and added some great run support in the game, making some tackles at the line, making some big plays to deflect some balls. The guy's a gamer, man. We're so happy that the Niners drafted this dude, because he's really saving us back there, because we've had nothing but injuries and stuff, and this is one area where we're starting to see that part of the secondary starting to slightly solidify. We're getting some consistent play out of those guys. Jair Brown, Mustafa. We saw some good cornerback play by Moody. That was a great play, and that was in the end zone where he got the ball out of there. I mean, the wide receivers for the Bucs didn't really make any impact in the game that I can recollect. I thought I saw more dump offs by Baker Mayfield and more passes to their tight ends than anything.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Cade Otton had a big game for them as well. He had 5 catches for 35 yards, but he had some clutch, tight window catches that were just backbreakers for the Niners. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the receiving distribution by the Bucs, Rashard White had 6 catches, Otton had 5 catches, Irving had 3 catches, and then you're looking at like Raheem Jarrett had 2, Sterling Sharp had 1 in a bullshit rush, and that's about it.
Sterling Shepard really, but it's fine. Sterling Sharp's retired.
Sterling Sharp, Sterling Shepard, yeah, exactly. So the Niners D-backs did a great job with those wide receivers, shutting them down. And how about Campbell? Let's talk about Campbell.
Had a good game.
He had a good game. He
was everywhere.
Dude, he was there, and that's what you wanted to see. This is the kind of game where you should be able to see him more, do some positive stuff for the Niners defense. And he was there. He was coming in, making some big tackles.
He
And
was.
that's what you want to see.
And let's take a look at that right here. Where I just had it up. There it is. Devondre Campbell. He had 7 total tackles today, and he had a pass deflection too. I thought, oh, I'm on the wrong one. There it is. He had 7 total tackles plus a pass deflection. He had, again, one of his best games. I think that he's been able to put together 2 good games in a row. And it's been great to see him contribute and help this team out. I feel like Sorensen has found ways to keep him out of those tough positions where he's having to guard the fast tight end, or he's having to cover the receivers. I think you didn't see that matchup where he was against somebody that he had no business trying to cover. They played a lot of nickel as well because you got to see obviously Demo Lenore. But you got to see a lot of Isaac Yiadom, which I thought Yiadom had a rough game. He wasn't exactly the best, but he was in there because of the fact that Mooney Ward was not going to play. But I thought Green had a good game. He never allowed any big plays. And that's one thing that I will say. He had 5 tackles. He had 2 pass deflections as well, Renardo Green. But you never saw the Niners give up the big play in this game. Never. And that was huge. I was like, wow, they didn't give it up. Like they stayed locked in.
Yeah, and I guess you can take a look at that, right, and be like, okay, the Buccaneers ran for 100 and something yards against the Niners, but those wide receivers didn't do shit. That team is desperately missing Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Oh yeah,
I mean that's staggering. That's a staggering loss, and that team is on the ropes right now. They just lost 2 in a row. I'm not sure if they have lost 3 in a row.
No, they've lost 4 in a row, actually.
4 in a row. So, they got a standing 8 count right now. With this loss against the Niners at home against a packed fucking crowd, packed stadium. It looked like that place was rocking.
Yeah, I would say so.
A lot of Niner fans there.
This was a tough play to watch, too. I mean, I was just like, get him, and he gets it away. He's smiling though, so I don't get what the hell was going on there.
Make the play. I think he was just trying to push him out of bounds, and he thought he wasn't going to do it, and he made the play.
At the end of the day, he made the play. It was just like, damn.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Bosa got a sack again and got some more pressures on the quarterback, and it is what it is. It was a huge play. It fucking blew my mind that he wasn't able to sack him right there. But I think, like you said, he didn't have the right leverage. It would have been nice just for him to say fuck it and just dive for him at that point and then tackle him. But old Baker stuck out the old dirty arm and got him.
He got him, man. I really couldn't believe he did that. But like we were saying about Nick Bosa, I thought again he had a really good game. I don't know if the numbers are even going to show how good of a game he had. But actually, they kind of do. They kind of do. Let me see. I have it on there. So Bosa had 4 tackles, 3 solo tackles, and he had a sack as well. But the amount of pressure he was putting on Baker Mayfield, especially in the second half, was huge. And you could tell Baker can feel him. He was like, oh, God, he's coming. And they did a great job of applying that pressure. Leonard Floyd, he had 1 pass deflection, 1 total tackle, but he was there on a number of plays applying pressure. Again, the stats aren't going to show what he did. Could he have played better? I mean, I wish we could have got more out of him, but he was there for some clutch plays. There was even a sack from Nick Bosa where him and Floyd just basically sandwiched him, which was great. Fred Warner, 9 tackles, 6 solo tackles. He had a big game like he always does. Diamond Lenore, 7 tackles. And then on top of that, Malik Mustafa, 7 tackles. You kept seeing Mustafa and Lenore in the backfield making those tackles.
Yeah. No, they had a great game. They really did. I mean, going a little bit back to Floyd, he has 3 sacks on the season. He's averaging around 9 sacks a season. So I think we're going to get 6 more in the second half here.
Let's hope so.
Let's get up to that average. Come on, Floyd. And like you said with Bosa, he also had a tackle for a loss in that game.
Yeah, he did.
You know, so he was an impact player on the D line. You know, the rest of the linemen was just really there to get pressure up the middle. They weren't able to stop the run very well. But the secondary played well, and you can tell that the Bucs were really focused on running that ball because that was working, you know, and hitting their tight ends because that was working. But the wide receivers were just running routes, you know, just running routes.
Yeah, and then here was a big thing too that happened. Let me turn off the sound on this. So we saw tempers flare on the sidelines, which you never want to see that, but it happens. Deebo Samuel got in Tabor Pepper's face, pushed him, told him to shut the fuck up. Jake Moody's like, leave him alone, I fucked up. It's my fault. I fucked up. And Tabor Pepper, you can see him saying, fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, he was pissed.
Look at Jake Moody. Watch, you'll see his face. It's my fault. It's my fault. Don't worry about it.
I can't kick the ball, buddy.
Ronnie Bell was like, I'm not gonna take a part of this because I suck ass too. So
I don't want to get cut.
I don't want to get cut.
I can't stand seeing Ronnie Bell out there. I'm sorry. I can't stand it. He's the one guy I'd love to see gone.
I don't understand.
Not a fan.
After that Rams game where he dropped that critical pass, I would have cut him after the game.
Yeah, he spiked it instead of catching. I'm gonna grab it and spike it. It's like, you stupid ass.
They should have cut him after that game. They really should have.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing, but yeah, it's just hats off to
at least hold him accountable and say, "Hey, we're gonna
hold
let
the players accountable."
Yeah, like you can't cost us a game.
No, that's a statement.
It's a statement. He should have been fired. And if you don't fire Brian Schneider, you got to put him on the hot seat. And at least,
I'm sure he's on the fucking hot seat.
Well, I'm sure, but publicly
smoking.
Publicly, I wish Kyle Shanahan would have said something about him, like, "Hey, just in regards."
You're right. What I don't like is that Shanahan is public about criticism on Brock's throws, right? But he's not very public on criticism on his special teams coach and how that unit is playing. Obviously, he said that he wants to see them improve, but yet. He's easy to say, Brock missed a couple passes. I'm sure he want to take back. Well, how about, what's that guy's name? The special teams coach again?
Brian Schneider.
Oh, Schneider needs to get his team ready to go and coach him up and be ready to play.
Yeah, because they're not ready to play. They show up
real.
Yeah. It's just like, come on, man, you got to figure this out. They really got to fix that because special teams is an issue every single week.
Every single week.
And it's not just like, oh, well, it happens. No, this is every week. They're fucking up the game.
If it's not kicking the ball, it's returning the ball. It's just stupid shit like that. It's just unbelievable what's happening right now with special teams. Of all things.
Yeah, of all things.
I mean, look at the Niners only gave up 20 points, right? I mean, you can look at that as as a lot. Right? Or not a lot. I look at that as a solid game against a solid football team that took the Chiefs to the brink of losing their first game of the season.
Absolutely.
Last weekend. So they're obviously playing pretty good football for all the players that they have. And those linebackers, Levante David is a badass dude.
Oh, he was everywhere.
And they got some fast fucking linemen. I mean, those guys
he was like, fuck Christian McCaffrey.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
so they got speed on that defense for sure.
Jordan Whitehead for the Buccaneers, he had 12 tackles. Levante David had 8 tackles. Antoine Winfield Jr. had 8 tackles. Cansey had 8 tackles in the sack. Oh, and what about that almost strip sack from Cansey where Purdy fumbled the ball and Jennings had to land on it. That was huge.
That was fucking huge.
I was like, oh no.
Oh, that was huge, man. If he would have lost that fumble, that would have been fucking disaster right there.
That would have been ball game.
Yeah.
Probably. Who knows?
It just wouldn't have been very good. It just would have been not a good situation to be in.
No, not at all.
And, what you saw a lot there is in the second half, the Niners defense looked a little bit winded.
Definitely.
They were playing on their heels.
Yep.
Giving up some big chunk yardage, to the rushing game. So when the Niners offense got back out there for them to be able to score and kill some time, that gave the Niners, enough of a breathing room on the defense, catch their breath, get out there, get a 3 and out, and then let Purdy do his thing.
Yeah.
So it worked out really well.
It did. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about scores from around the league and what's coming up for the Niners as they take on next week at home against the Seattle Seahawks. You're watching Postgame Live. We'll be right back.
Postgame Live is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code DreArea Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. And we are also brought to you by BetUS. BetUS will match you up to 125% on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 by using promo code DreArea Sports. PowerBrandSystems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out PowerBrandSystems. Use promo code 300. Power to save up to $300 on your first purchase at PowerBrandSystems.
And before we take a look at the scores from around the NFL for the morning games, let's welcome my co-host on 4th and 1 49er Sports Talk, Mr. Chris Gonzalez, CG Ruthless. What's going on, Chris? Oh, I got to make a little spot for you. There you go.
Oh, what's going on, dude? I'm sorry I caught it late, man. But, man, what
you're all good.
Dude, this is as bad as this service is as bad as Jake Moody's field goals, bro. Straight up. What was going on?
The hit and miss.
Oh, man, dude. It's it almost gave me some stress.
Almost. It gave me a ton of stress. You should have seen me in my living room. I was freaking out and cussing in front of the kids. I can't believe that Jake Moody missed 3 field goals. I couldn't believe it. But at the same time, I could believe it because I was just like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. I kind of stressed, but I was trying to keep my composure and say, man, come on, man, you can't be doing this. But you know what I really liked was when Debo actually kind of gave him some of that tough love and told him straight up, man, that you're trash. Step it up.
Yeah, he must have said something to that.
He did.
Either it was Moody and the snapper was defending Moody or something. Who knows?
Tabor Pepper. Dude, Peppers is yeah, dude.
He's on social media a lot too. Tabor Pepper.
Yeah. Oh, he is.
And he'll block people. He'll block people if you criticize him a little bit. Even what I did with Jake Brendel.
Yeah, he will block you. He's a blocker. But like you were saying though, I'm actually kind of glad that he did that because he was just like, you know what, man. Now look, someone would question his his leadership by doing that, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you know what, man, I'm so sick of the special teams fucking up these games that he was like, get the fuck out of my face. He's probably like, you guys keep choking every week, And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing it. People are sitting here arguing and making complaints about Kyle Shanahan, saying, "Oh, I'm sick of Kyle Shanahan. I'm sick of Kyle Shanahan. I'm sick of the fucking special teams."
Oh yeah, same here.
Leaving a black eye on the game every game now. It's ridiculous, dude.
And it's ridiculous that it doesn't need to come down to our kicker at this point, dude. If our offense is so good, why does it have to come down to kicking field goals? And yes. Jake Moody needs to make the kicks, man. You missed on 9 points. 9 freaking points. That would be the difference between kicking a game winner and actually having a 2-possession game.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, special teams cost the Niners, 19 points.
Yeah, the muff punt, dude. Oh, my God. Dude, I was at a point where I was like, God damn. And then
I think we all were at that point.
It's just like, God damn it. And it was
jump
coming
off the house. Come film me. He's like, God.
Yeah, Brian Snyder needs to go, man. I'm sorry. He needs to get out of here.
He hasn't done anything.
He has to be held accountable for the way the special teams has been playing. They've been playing so inconsistent all fucking year.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure how the dialogue goes between Shanahan and special teams. And does he go to them and be like, hey, how does Moody look? Is Moody ready? Moody, are you ready? I don't know how that works, but something didn't fucking connect today.
He's like, yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. And Moody's like, I can't feel my toes, man.
He's like, just shut up.
You're good. You're good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Go ahead and cut Carlson.
Hurts. Oh, my ankle hurts, man.
Where's Matthew Wright? Is he still on the IR?
Yeah, with a shoulder, right? Doesn't he have a shoulder?
They're probably like, hey, why don't you just go home, go rest on the couch, and just enjoy the rest of the season, buddy?
Why is it that the kickers off the couch have been better than Mooney or than Jake Moody? It's like, come on, man. These guys were on the couch fucking filming themselves kicking at soccer fields. And you're on an NFL team and he missed 3 kicks, man. He can't do that.
You can't do that, especially if you're in the playoffs. You can't do that either. So it's like,
you know why he missed those kicks though, right? This is why I think why he missed those kicks. I think he missed them kicks because before the game, he was using BetUS. Guys, make sure you use BetUS. Use promo code DreArea Sports to save money when you're using BetUS. They'll match you up to 125% on your first $3,000 on your first 3 deposits when you use promo code DreArea Sports. I think that's what he was doing. He was on BetUS. He was like, I gotta fuck this game up. I'm taking the blocks.
Isn't that kicker from the replacement that actually did a bit like that?
I know, right? Jesus Christ. So what we're going to do really quick is we're going to go around the league and take a look at some of the scores that are happening right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, I already have it up. So here we go. Cincinnati, obviously they lost to Baltimore 35-34. Carolina pulled off the win in Germany 20-17. Let me actually see, how did Bryce Young do? Because God, he's been terrible. But I think he had an okay game, but he was going against Daniel Jones. Hasn't say much. Bryce Young was 15-25 for 126 and a touchdown. It's terrible. Daniel Jones was 22-37, 2 picks.
Yeah. Dude, I was watching some of that game this morning, and Daniel Jones is a fucking train wreck.
Oh, he's terrible.
You do not want that dude as your starting quarterback right now.
No.
He looks like Jim Carrey. He looks like a comedian.
He does. He looks like he's a poor man's Jim Carrey. And on top of that,
like the Riddler.
Yeah. Dude, on top of that, they did a flea flicker in this game, and he had 2 receivers that were wide fucking open.
He had Neighbors wide open.
And Neighbors was jumping in the air.
It was Robinson. It was Robinson that was open.
And he was pissed. He was like, fuck, don't win the ball. And he he looked, he hesitated, and he got sacked or he threw it away.
He's seeing headlights right now.
He's garbage.
The Bears lost to the Patriots. The overhyped Bears, man.
And there we go. New England takes down the Bears 19-3. How did Caleb Williams fare today? Let's see.
Don't get the hype.
Where'd it go? Drake May was 15-25 for 184 yards, a touchdown, a pick. Caleb Williams 16-30 with 120 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. But I mean, 120 yards. Like what?
He played better than Baker Mayfield. No.
Hey, but Baker was clutch, dude. Baker was clutch. Buffalo took care of Indianapolis 30-20. They take down Joe Flacco and the Indianapolis Colts. Denver
Chiefs.
Fucking lost to the Chiefs. Did you see how they lost? It's unbelievable.
No,
they blocked a field goal to win the game.
Yeah.
The Broncos were lined up for a field goal to win the game, and the Chiefs blocked it, and that's how they won. Unbelievable. And Pat Mahomes ran the field with his arms out. Woo!
Oh, I'm sure he was happy as shit.
This is the shittiest 9-0 team I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's like the Eagles.
It's like the Eagles if they just kept on somehow winning last year. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I think that this team is going to get in the playoffs and get ousted this year. I really do, because they have too many flaws. New Orleans came back and they won 20-17 after they fired their head coach Dennis Allen. So they win to 20-17 and they break their 7-game losing streak to move to 3-7. Jesus.
You know, and that's kind of an upset right there because the Falcons have been playing some pretty good football lately. Cousins has been ripping the fucking ball.
Yeah.
He has.
He's been making this Falcons offense legit. It's just that Atlanta doesn't have no pass rush. That's only the downfall of them.
Kirk Cousins was 23-38 for 306 yards and an interception. Derek Carr, 16-25 for 269 and 2 touchdowns. He had 126.9 quarterback rating. Alvin Kamara, only 55 yards. Bijan Robinson had 116 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Dude, Bijan Robinson is a fucking stud right now. If
and
you
they
look at his
lost.
stats, that guy has been balling all season. So he's continuing to play at a high level.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 3 catches for 109 yards. Dante Pettis, there he is, 1 catch for 8 yards. What a fucking bust he was. He had
Oh,
one
man.
catch on one target. They were just like, all right, get out of the game. Drake London, who was questionable to play in this game, he ended the game with 8 catches for 97 yards. The Saints take down the fucking Falcons 20-17, and nobody scored in the fourth quarter. That's pretty lame. Niners, obviously, they won their game 23-20. Brock Purdy he was 25 of 36 for 353 yards and 2 touchdowns. I thought he played a great game.
Yeah.
Was there some passes that he missed? Yes, but I
Nobody's
think he was clutch.
He made the
Clutch.
plays what was necessary. Like, okay, like I remember saying that James was going to be the X factor. I did tell you about that, and he actually had a pretty good, solid game.
He did. Juwan
Made the
Jennings,
most important catch.
7 catches for 93 yards. He had a great game. 7 catches off 11 targets. That's really, really good.
He's
Look at
reliable,
McCaffrey, though.
He looks for Jennings now. That is a legit target when he's out
Pearsall's
there.
coming into his own. Pearsall got that touchdown. Dude. He's starting to emerge. I think this receiving core is going to start clicking slowly, dude. I just think we got to get better in the red zone, but I think the next game against Seattle will give us that confidence we need.
Yeah,
absolutely.
with CMC back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got. I think offensively they look so much better in this game, and they look like they were able to move the ball with much more ease, and so that I really liked. I just thought they played so much better today than they have.
How many yards did Baker throw? How many yards did he throw?
Baker Mayfield, he threw for 116. So
That's
how good our pass defense is.
That's what we're talking
16.
about. $1.16. That's what we're talking about, man. The D-backs, they played their
well.
wide receivers really well, and they were able to break off routes and support these tight ends that were catching balls left and right.
Yeah, Green did pretty well in that one red zone play where that guy could have caught the ball, but he made that good play. I think I'm surprised. I'm a shocker. Remember how we've been bad-mouthing Devondre Campbell? He's kind of been pretty solid in this game.
We were talking about that earlier. What a game.
Yeah.
He made clutch tackles.
And there's nothing wrong with bad mouthing Campbell because he looked like dog shit most of the year until the last couple weeks. He's actually been balling a little bit.
I put the link on both YouTube and on X. If you're enjoying this stream and you want to support the channel, I have the tip jar link right there. You can donate $1 or a quarter and whatever you want to do if you want to help support the channel. I appreciate everyone who does. Also, check out nicotina.net. That's the homepage for all 3 of my channels. Memberships are available, and they start as low as $1 a month for the DreArea Sports Show. So let's get back to scores from around the leagues. We only got a few more to go. Pittsburgh took down the Commanders 28-27. That was a big matchup for both teams. Let's take a look at that real quick. And let's see. Russell Wilson, the ageless, 14-28. 195 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had a 93.6 quarterback rating. Jaden Daniels, 17-34 for 202 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He did rush for 5 yards, so they were really able to contain Jaden Daniels. Austin Eckler had 13 rushes for 44 yards. Terry McLaurin, 5 catches for 113 yards. And George Pickens, 5 catches for 91 yards. The Steelers pulled this one off. It was a close game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if you look at the Steelers since they made that switch to Russell Wilson, they've actually become a lot better. Because
running game.
Fields was playing well enough to win games because they got a good defense. But that first game back for Russell Wilson wasn't a great game for him. But since then, I think this is like his 3rd game back. He's really turned it around.
His first game, I was like, this is a bad idea.
I was like, oh, fuck.
It made their running game even better once Russell Wilson came. It's like the passing game was very efficient with him. You saw the difference with Fields wasn't quite all that accurate, but with Russell Wilson, you're going to get some of that efficiency pretty well.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, look how many rushes the Steelers had. Look at out of Warren and Harris. That's 35 rushes.
35 rushes.
Yeah,
Najee Harris
they were
had
trying to run
yards.
that ball hard on those.
Equals good time of possession right there too. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, pretty good stuff there. So the Pittsburgh wins the game 28-27. And then what game was this? Oh, this is the Thursday night game.
No, this was the. I think no, it wasn't Thursday. It was like this Sunday's game, but it was ugly, dude. Like, come on, the Vikings are just. I'm starting to tell you guys, Vikings are just starting to become that mirage team that everybody's falling for, dude. I don't.
Dude, I'm telling you, Sam Darnold. As much as I love the guy, he's turning back into a pumpkin. He needs to be careful because
it's happening.
It's happening in front of our eyes.
I was getting a lot of heat for saying
interceptions.
I was getting
3
a lot
interceptions, dude. Oh my God! Look at Mac Jones. He made an appearance, 2 picks, 38.3. Jesus.
Dude, I was getting a lot of heat from those other fans because they said, "Oh, is it because they beat you guys? Is that why you're saying that?" I'm like, no. I'm watching the games and I'm starting to realize, bro, they almost blew a lead with the Packers. That kind of gave me the cracks right there.
Yeah, that was the first time they showed vulnerability. And so right now, live, Tennessee at Chargers, 7-6 Tennessee. Philly against the Cowboys, 2 teams I hate the most. 7-3 Philly's up on the Cowboys. Jalen Hurts did play. I remember they were talking about him possibly not playing. Look at the fucking Cardinals, 14-3 over the Jets.
If not for our kicker being hurt, we would have beat these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we would have beat them. I'd say the season for the Jets is over. I think the experiment with Aaron Rodgers, that's done.
Well, and I think firing their coach was a bad idea too, because it hasn't done anything for that team.
That was the dumbest thing. Like,
hasn't done anything for that team.
And so that's one of the arguments too about like when it comes to guys like Brian Schneider. It's like I lost Chris about Brian Schneider is because should they fire him and cause maybe some division in the locker room? We don't know, the relationship he has with the players. I think Kyle Shanahan is just trying to ride this out. Like, hey, look, I'm going to stick with my guy. He's been here since, the offseason. He's been here for 3 years now. I'm not just going to cut him loose and, try to figure out who's going to be our new special teams coach. But later on today, is it today? Yeah. Sunday Night Football is the big game. It's going to be Detroit Lions at the Houston Texans. That should be a good game. If CJ Stroud has a bad game, the NFL will be like, hey, it's okay.
It's okay to have a bad game if you don't have all your weapons, unless your name is Brock Purdy.
Yeah, then unless you're Brock Purdy, then it's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, oh, well, yeah. It's like, geez, what do you know? And I'm not sure if Nico Collins is playing tonight.
I don't think he is.
I looked
it
up. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I looked it up from a lot of these other reports. He is going to be off IR. So, dude, that's the problem with some of these people, bro. Like when quarterbacks have their off games, they get a pass. But when it's Brock Purdy, it's like, oh, I told you, he's just a system quarterback. Like, come on, man.
It's ridiculous.
The hate is so real.
Yeah, and then Monday night. Oh, go ahead.
Like I try to be more convinciable with those other fans, but it's like, dude, you guys don't even know how to acknowledge the game enough. So why should I even waste my energy with some of you guys?
And there's a lot of people like that are like oblivious to reality, and they don't want to accept the fact that Brock Purdy is actually a really good fucking quarterback. And when he has a good game, they blame because he has the weapons and it's the system. And when he has a bad game, they laugh in his face because he doesn't have all the weapons, and see what happens when he doesn't have all the weapons. It's like, dude, this is how it is, man.
I think that this is also a case where when you compare him to, let's say, Kurt Warner. Now, Kurt Warner had some really amazing seasons where he put up a lot of big points, but he won the Super Bowl with the Rams. And I think that if Brock Purdy would have won that Super Bowl, there'd be less of an argument that this guy is just like a one-hit wonder. Because, you look at Kurt Warner, he was a freaking Arena League quarterback. Came out of nowhere. And he just lit it up. And then now he's a fucking Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He won one Super Bowl. And then he lost 2 more. He lost to the Patriots, I think.
And the Steelers. The Patriots and the Steelers. Yeah. But he came a long ways, and he was just like undrafted from Northern Iowa, and he was playing for different like football leagues. Like I think he even played for the, like you just said, the Arena League for the Iowa Brainstorms or whatever they are. Then you had then I think he did a little bit of NFL Europe too, if I'm mistaken. But
I think you're right. Yeah.
You know who else did NFL Europe was Jim Tom Sula.
The best damn coach over there, but I think he won a Scottish championship over there.
I think he did, but I was watching his press conference when they announced him as the head coach. It was so bad.
That was
He
the
looked
worst
like,
press
oh.
conference in all of press conference history.
What about the
That was
fart?
the worst. The
The
fart,
fart?
yeah.
Oh, dude. Or how about how he dressed during the combine? He looked like he was going to like a nightclub. You know,
Hey, he looks
he's
like he
wearing
was
this
going to
blue
a.
shirt, all buttoned up. It's like, what are you
Jeremy.
doing, bro? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, put on some sweats.
He looks like my janitor, bro. He looked like a janitor that works at the
He looked like he was heading over to like an Italian restaurant, to get some ziti.
Yeah. But he checked all the boxes. You know,
Yeah,
it's just-
he checks all the
a great
boxes.
coach. He's a teacher. He can
yeah,
teach.
He could
no,
teach. He could
was-
inspire.
he was
Whatever, dude.
garbage.
I'm over it. Okay, let's look ahead now to the matchup between the Niners and the Seahawks. The Niners are going up against a Seahawk team that is absolutely desperate. So, what do you guys think? The Niners have the advantage against the Seahawks being at home? Daniel, what do you think?
Absolutely they do. Now the Seahawks are coming off a bye week, so they're going to have a little bit more time to prepare for the Niners. They've seen CMC in the past already, so they'll try their best to contain him and get pressure on Brock Purdy. But I think if the Niners start early and jump on him early, it's going to be a long game for Geno Smith, because he has shown consistently that he can't always make the big throws when he needs to, especially under pressure. So I think that definitely the Niners have the edge right now over the Seahawks, personnel wise, and we're playing at home.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think? Niners, Seahawks.
Oh, we definitely have the edge. I mean, even if Seattle comes with a bye, yeah, it may help them be fresh. But, dude, they have not found the answer of stopping CMC or the running game. It doesn't matter who we plug at running back. They don't have an answer of stopping our running game. I mean, you have Juwan Jennings coming back like he did. He had a great game, but you see that the offense is going to start to open. Now you're seeing that Ricky Pearsall starting to showcase what he could be.
Yeah.
It's going to be too much for Seattle's defense to overcome, and we all know what Geno is, bro. He has his moments, and he'll throw picks. He'll give you one. Like he says, you can get a pick. You can get a pick.
Everyone gets a pick.
Everybody gets a pick.
Everybody. Italian. Let's throw a pick, man. Geno got you, man. Geno got you covered. Forget about it. Yeah, you know what? Let's do some garbage stat numbers, man. I'll give you some garbage points on your fantasy football. Forget about it.
Yeah, forget it.
Yeah, I mean, I just think our running game is going to be too much for them. They have not found that answer to slow, but we can stop Kenneth Walker. We found ways to slow him down. Did you see how Evan Anderson was kind of like, you seen that one play where he actually made a nice tackle where he was actually getting blocked, but he actually made the play on the running back?
I thought Evan Anderson had a good game. He had that penalty against him, which was like super stupid. But at the same time,
it was a bullshit penalty.
It was a bullshit penalty. On that last drive, he made, I want to say, at least 2 big stops in the run game. And he really showed his value to the Niners in terms of stopping the run.
Yeah.
Now, I saw Khalil Davis out there. I didn't see Khalil Davis, but I may have been mistaken between the two of them. I don't know who's who anymore. So I don't know if he even got any playing time. Let me check the stats on that. Does he even have any stats? I don't see anything.
I don't think he had any stats.
I think
Khalil.
Oh, he did. Khalil
did.
Khalil Davis had a tackle, but
well, didn't Khalil Davis had like a sack on Mayfield when he tripped? Don't they count that as a sack when he touched him?
No, it didn't count as a sack. He had 0 sacks. He just had the 1 tackle, so it must have counted as a tackle.
Yeah, it's a tackle. Yeah,
but then Bosa did sack Mayfield.
Yeah, he did. And we were talking about earlier how Mayfield had Bosa hanging off his arm and he threw for a first down.
2 sacks.
on 4th down, he converted. I was like, oh,
it's fine. You
I thought right there, I was
that
like,
stiff arm out of the way. Go on, Bosa.
He was like, get off me.
Yeah, get off me.
But again, we talked about how the Niners defense came through in the clutch when they had to get that stop. They were able to stop Baker and that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense, and that was huge, absolutely huge.
Yeah. Because
okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, because there was a lot of penalties, bro. They would have been in position to score a touchdown, but for whatever reason, we made that stop.
And guys, we have 51 watching right now, 50 over on X. Make sure you follow my X account. And follow me on X. The link is in the chat for the tip jar if you want to leave a tip for our services here. If not, go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel, DreArea Sports. So when we talk about Niners, Seahawks, the Niners have had the advantage of the Seahawks for quite a long time now. It's like when Niners play the Chiefs, we suck ass. When the Seahawks play the Niners, Seahawks suck ass. I don't think the Seahawks are in a position where they're going to actually make a difference against the Niners. With Christian McCaffrey back, I think this is the game, another game where he goes off and they're unable to stop him. Now, look, everyone's talking about, even Chris and I talked about, hey, they should lighten the load. They should, use him sparingly. Fuck, I love the way they used him today. He looked great. So I think you're going to get the same kind of Christian McCaffrey you got out of this game against the Seahawks and probably even more.
Yeah. I think he was very effective both ways. Like the way they used him today, I guess it was very effective enough. So when I saw that it was reported that he was going to go back to his usual role, that kind of gave me the feeling like, okay, then that means he's going to go back to the role that he does.
Yeah, absolutely. So Niners Seahawks, I think the Niners come out of this game winning convincingly. Now, I said that about this past game when the Niners won by a Jake Moody field goal. But again, I feel like being at home, I think the Niners win this game 31-13. I think this is finally a game where they whoop someone's ass, and then they go on the road to take on the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay the following week. Let's do that real quick. Daniel, what's your score prediction for the Seahawks versus Niners next week?
Let's go with 27-13.
27-13. Yeah. The Niners are always good for 30 points. That's sort of where they hover around a lot. Chris, what do you think?
I'm going to go with 33-13 Niners.
33-13 Niners. There we go. So we're all convinced.
Hold on to 13.
Hold on to 13. The defense has got to step up. The defense has to do a better job of stopping the run. You cannot let Kenneth Walker run all over you. They basically allowed White and what was his name? The other running back,
Bucky Irving.
Bucky Irving. They kind of ran all over him, which was like, holy fuck, you guys, because they ran for 105 yards against the Niners. So they got to do a better job at stopping that. And a lot of those runs were up the middle, which that's scary as well, because if they're able to run the ball that effectively up the middle, then what's Detroit going to do to you? What's the Packers going to do to you? What are the Buffalo going to do to you? So they got to be on their game, and they got to be ready for next week and really shore up that run defense.
Yeah, and they got to be ready for DK because he's coming back off of a knee injury. He's missed the last few games. He has a bye week right now to get healthy. He doesn't really do a whole lot against the Niners. The Niners have his card, but you never know. That guy is one of the premier catchers in the league, and he's so big and strong and go up and get the ball. You definitely got to be good with that guy.
Now, obviously, Charvarius Ward wasn't there today because of the death of his daughter, so our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. I don't see him coming back next week. Maybe he does. If he's going to come back, I think it would be against the Packers. But I think the Niners are just going to kind of see how this plays out. It's a lot.
It's going to be a lot, but I don't think it's just going to be DK that's going to be their factor. You got to have to watch for Lockett, dude. Lockett is that one guy you got to watch out for mostly. I mean, then you got Jigma who's emerging. Like the game against the Rams, bro, he was
Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, Jigba, that dude was killing it, bro. So yeah, DK may be our main focus, but I would always try to find ways to neutralize Lockett more.
Yeah, because he can beat you over top, and if he does that, that's going to be a big chunk yardage for the Seattle Seahawks. So definitely something to look forward to, guys. That's going to do it for Postgame Live. I want to thank Daniel and Chris for coming out and delivering a fire show. And everyone in the chat who's watching over on X, make sure you follow my account on X, and also make sure that you subscribe to the channel DreArea Sports on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification button. Check out Nicotina.net. That's the homepage for all three of my channels, including DreArea Sports. Memberships are available, and they start as low as $1. And The community is available too. We can interact with Daniel, with Chris, with me, whenever you want to. It's on the website. Go to nicotina.net, and there it is right there. There's a website. Just go to that website, and you can be a part of the DreArea Sports team. Guys, next week's going to be a big game. Seahawks at Niners. I think Niners win big in this game, and we improve to 6-4 as we head to Green Bay.
Gotta have it. Let's go. Go Niners, baby. Go Niners.
Let's go Niners.
Go Niners.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for the show. We'll see you guys next week. Peace. Oh, that was the wrong one. There we go. There we go. Peace.
Postgame Live is brought to you by SEATGEEK. Use promo code DreArea Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. And we are also brought to you by BetUS. BetUS will match you up to 125% on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 by using promo code DreArea Sports. PowerBrandSystems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out PowerBrandSystems. Use promo code 300. Power to save up to $300 on your first purchase at Power.